Hello, my dear. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator. Um, I like to tell my first timers just a little bit how this works. I see, hear, feel, sense, know. They talk to me, but they also show me pictures, and I call it spiritual charades. And I describe the picture that they show the best I can. They don't tell me all the details. They just tell me enough so you understand what they're talking about, because the details, they're none of my business or anybody else's. So they just get enough across so you hopefully understand what they're talking about. And if you don't understand it now, you'll remember it later, or you'll see it later, or like maybe another family member will validate it for you later. They never waste a message. This is not an exact science. So sometimes you might have to think outside the box a little bit, because I may not get the words exactly right the way he wants me to, but it should be close enough for you to understand. It's just the way that we can communicate. Yeah, he's calling you his little buddy. He's going to start right off with, you cannot take this upon yourself. And he's actually showing a picture of himself, like we've seen Jesus carrying his cross, and it's a big heavy cross, and it's on your shoulder and you're dragging it along. And that's what he's showing. It was his cross to bear. It was heavy. He says, but it was his and his alone. You couldn't have fixed it. You couldn't have stopped it. I can't hear him. Oh, he wants me to explain I've been through this, and it's taken me years to figure out this was not my fault. I did not do it. It was, as far as mine, it was, and him actually, it's their choice. Their choice, their choice alone. It's not because of anything I did or said or didn't do. It's this is right. This is totally different from somebody dying of a cancer or a heart attack or something. We're in our own little club, and it's not a very nice club. But he says now it's our cross to bear, yes, and he is sorry, so sorry that he put this cross on you, this burden to carry. He, the other reading I've done for him, he talks kind of, he's kind of slow when he comes out with his stuff. No reason for it. Some people are peppier. Now he's kneeling down on one knee. I'm not sure what he's doing yet. He's got the knee that's up. He's got his hands kind of. He's got his hand like this, and he's got his other hand on his arm on his knee. I honestly don't know why he's doing this. He's not saying. He wants your forgiveness. He did not realize the consequences. And as far as in my experience as being a medium, I have never met one yet that left by suicide, that said they were glad that they did it. Not one. Okay, there's an older lady walking up to him. I can't quite see her yet. Sometimes they don't show them all the way. Depends on how important it is that you see them. It's a grandmother type figure. And when I say grandmother type, sometimes your neighbor can feel more like a grandmother than your real grandmother, but it's that connection. I feel more like it's his grandmother, and I can't quite see her. She's walking up to him, putting her hand on his shoulder, and she feels more like if I say prim and proper, that sounds kind of stuffy, and I don't mean that she's stuffy, but that she's probably was more well-dressed type of person, more maybe a little more business-like. I'm not sure exactly what word to use for her. And she's telling him, I will take care of you. So know that he's with her. Now there's a little dog jumping around, and it's kind of like he's a wiry little dog. He's kind of light colored, but he's got some darker colors on him. Got a long tail. He's not got, he's got short hair kind of, but it's still kind of long enough to be a little kind of wiry type hair. So he wants somebody to know that he has this dog with him. He keeps saying Jack Russell, but it doesn't, it looks the shape of a Jack Russell Terrier, but the hair's white, more wiry. Anyway. So he says when you're sleeping, he comes to your room and he strokes your hair. So, and he's showing you asleep, so you may not remember it, but you may dream of him at this time. And there's sometimes dreams are them coming through, but a true visitation is, you know how when you dream and you wake up in the morning, as soon as you open your eyes, your dream memory starts to fade away. A true visitation, I remember mine from 7 years ago. Every detail, every smell, every word, every color in the room. When they're that clear, and I've only had one that I can remember. So I don't know if it's hard for them to do, because they can come through and talk to you all the time, but it seems like these true visitations are a little bit harder. So know when you get that one, because you will, because he's coming to you in your dreams, that is very special. He's showing several people standing on a shore, and there's water. It's like a lake or something. There's a boat out there. Don't know if he's showing me a memory. I allow them to show whatever they want to. They tell us what we need to know, not always what we want to know. So I let them run the show. He says, I am happy. And he feels like mellow, super relaxed. I think that's why he comes through so kind of slow and easy going. He's just so mellow. He's comfy. He says, I'm still trying to figure this shit out. And he keeps mentioning ball game. He said, because I've heard ball game several times so far while I was talking. He said, "This is not the ball game that I had planned on." This was an idea that I have entertained for years and years and years, long before you came along. So this is not something that just happened. Right? He says, tell her way before you came along. So this was something that was already in him long before you were around. So this comes from way, way back, something that he had been fighting from way back. He's talking about the need to go home, the need to go home. Okay. There's very few people that I've run across that have felt the same need. I always felt like I need to go home. I need to go home. I need to go home. I have to go home. It's can't explain it. I don't think I can. Just this strong draw that I need to go home. And some of us fight to stay here, but there's a reason we stay here. He says he had an inner sadness. Something so far down inside of him that he couldn't get to it to make it happy. And I asked him, is there something that happened when you were a child or something? And he said, not really. So I'm not sure where this came from, and he may never tell us. But know that it was there long before you came along. He says he will be waiting for you. But don't get in a big hurry because you have a lot to do. He's making me think that you are going to be playing a big part in suicide awareness and in helping others, like personal, good grief, like personally people that are feeling this way. You're going to play a big part. Oh, he says in at least one life, you're going to play a big part in somebody's life that doesn't want to stay here, that wants to go home. But you're also going to play a part in suicide awareness in the bigger picture. He says that's your goal. He's not giving me a lot of validation, so I hope there's been something in the other ones that you can validate. See if you can give me something. So you know for sure it's him. He says what will make him happy is for you to be happy. Now he's showing me, I don't know if you have a picture or something of him on a little table with it like a single, looks like a single red rose laying in front of it. He's showing you with skates on. So I don't know if you've recently skated or talking about going skating, or this is some kind of a memory for him between the two of you. And you falling on your butt while you were skating. I think most of us do. Now he's showing a tree house, and it looks Well, I guess most of them are homemade. He's showing a tree house and a big tree. It's kind of plain, kind of just like a bunch of boards with just a simple rail around it, and he's actually showing the support, like the platform, and then the support going into the tree to hold it up. Doesn't look like something too many people could have stood on. I think he's trying to show that it's him. Okay, now he's showing a birthday cake and a bunch of people in the kitchen. He's in a little bit of trouble getting it across whether this is a memory or this is somebody's birthday that's coming up like real quick or just happened. And he's showing that he's there, and he will be at all the he will be. They go to all the celebrations, all the graduations, the birthdays, the anniversaries. Promise you. Let's see what he's. Let me ask him something else. He says you sleep with something of his. And he knows that. You're also going to get the smell of his, I'm guessing it's cologne. Like when he walks by you, you're going to get this little whiff. When he's trying to get your attention, you'll get this little whiff of that familiar cologne smell. But he's going like this on his head. Maybe it's something he put on his head, but it's some kind of a product. And you can smell this in the car, in the store, outside, in your home. It doesn't matter where it is. And when you smell it, say, I know that's you. I love you. And bring me more signs. And it'll open the floodgates of signs once you start recognizing signs. Well, he's got me mellow too, like I'm talking slow too. He mentions first car. He's talking about your first car. So I don't know what's up with that. Okay, now he's showing himself sitting on a couch and he's got popcorn. They always love popcorn. It seems like a lot of them come through with popcorn. And he's throwing it up, catching it in his mouth. Throwing up, catching his mouth. And then he throws it up. And now there's a larger black and white dog sitting there that catches it. And this dog's got longer hair, shaggier hair. I can't tell that it's any kind of a certain type of dog. And he's not letting me know. He hasn't been gone very long, so sometimes it takes him a little while to learn. It's not always, boom, I know everything and I know how to do this. So I think that might be why we're slower. But, so he's not making it clear whether this dog is here or up there. So whoever has a dog that looks kind of like this, if I described it well enough, it's mostly black with white on it. Longer hair, larger. Anyway, watch the dog because the dog is interacting with him. The dog can see him. Animals and small children can see and hear and sense them so easily. So sometimes, like if you have a dog or you know who has this dog and you see this dog and it's staring at the wall, I don't know if it'll bark at him because it might be familiar enough with him that it won't bark. Sometimes but if they know him, sometimes they'll look at what you think is nothing and they'll cry. Make sure and acknowledge him, even if you say it in your head, because he can hear you. He can hear you talk to him, whether it's out loud or silently. I promise that 1,000%. Okay, there's going to be, oh, I always ask my people, don't make the creepy sounds that scare people because then they think their house is haunted. But there's going to be like a, I don't know if it'll sound, it'll be on wood though, a knock. I don't know if you can hear that. Just a knock. I think you might hear that a lot in the bedroom, in your room. You just hear a thump. He says he wants to do enough to let you know that he's there, but not scare you. He says, remember the good times, the happy times. I keep hearing the song that my friend told me that is my song for the week, and it's Gloria Estefan, Get on Your Feet. I keep hearing it, so I'm not sure if that's for me or for both of us. But I throw out anything that I hear. He says again, none of this is your fault. None of this has to do with you. He said, actually, actually, you guys are what made him stay longer than what he wanted to. He's going like this. This is all him. This is all him in here. And then he goes like this. He goes, I couldn't shake it. I just couldn't shake it. I just felt like it was time. Yeah, you know, and I talked to a lot of them that have left this way, and his feels different. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know if I can explain it. It feels different. It's I don't even feel like there was this. There was like not one big thing happened that just kind of went, okay, that's it. It's just something that worked on him forever. Okay, so he's been standing over here, and this is my right side. Some of my videos look backwards, and he bends over to do it again and kisses me on the cheek right here. Okay, so I don't know how you will feel the energy because we leave our heavy body here, so we're pure energy when we leave. And it's probably not going to feel like actual lips kissing you on the cheek, but it might feel like warmth. It could feel like a bug crawling there. It could feel like a little pressure. And once in a while, it even feels like a pin sticking me. It depends on how you receive the energy and how hard they push it across. So it could take him a little bit to make this happen. It could be like something you keep going like this, like, what is that on my cheek? But it doesn't go away when you do that. He says, I love you, little bug. And he goes, you made me happy. He's trying to sing a song. You made me happy. See if he's going to show us with me. Anybody else he's got with him. Okay, I asked him who else was with him, and he showed me a guy that looks like it might be a little bit older than him, but not a lot. But he's calling him brother. Now, brother doesn't have to be a blood brother. It could be a close friend of his that feels like brotherly feeling. You know, they have that close connection. Then I hear cousin. There's a cousin with him. I don't know if it's the same guy. It's a male cousin, but he's not showing him. And then it's like he's showing, and this is the way they show it, when they're not going to bring all of them forward, they're like silhouettes. There's like bunches, and they're like silhouettes back behind. So there's many up there that are with him. Now he's got a fishing pole in his hand, and he's reeling in. He says, "Look, I finally caught a whopper." He says, fun and sun. Fun and sun. Water, boats. No more crap. And when we leave, even like something like this, well, especially I think something like this, when we go there, they cleanse us. It's like peeling off the layers of an onion. They get all of this crap from Earth, you know, all this heavy stuff, all this stuff that weighs us down. We get cleansed of that. So we can go back to being pure energy. He says, I'll be bringing you more signs that I'm around later. I'm still trying to figure it out. And if you've ever seen the movie Ghost, it is really close, except for the demons that come up and get the bad guys and drag them off in the end. I've never seen anything close to that. So that part always bothers me. But like the part where Patrick Swayze, I always mention this, in the subway, and the other spirit's there, and he's trying to teach him how to kick the can and flip the bottle cap. It does take a little bit of learning when they get up there. It does take them a little bit. It's not instantaneous. I'm not even going to try to say that word with my new teeth. It doesn't happen instantly. So give him a little time. You're still going to get to the other things. He's going to let you know that he's there. He says, I love you, little bug. And whatever it is that you've got of his that you sleep with, he shows me you hugging it tighter. You will see me in your dreams. Please know that I love you, and this has nothing to do with my love for you. Nothing. He says, I am okay. I am finally okay. Like I said, he just feels so peaceful. He's making me like that slow, peaceful, easy going. No throat punching, he says. No throat punching. No taking the anger out on others. He said, okay, he's leaving. He wants you to get this part down first. and then he will come back with some more. So you'll start seeing more, I promise. I promise. As long as you're open to it and talk to him. Talk to him. He can hear you. Yell at him. He can take it. Cuss at him. Tell him you're mad. He can take it. I promise you. He says, I deserve that, but I'm sending back nothing but love. Okay, he's leaving. I know he's a little bit slow, forthcoming with his stuff, but he'll get better. You'll start getting more stuff, I promise. He will. But as far as getting better, he's fine. He's absolutely fine right now. I just meant getting better with communicating with you. Much love to you. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, paranormal investigator, and thank you for allowing me to be his voice. Love you.